So, welcome, Suhas.
Hi,
Yeah, we're very glad to have you here.
thank
Uh,
you.
so, let us go straight into the point. Can you
Yes.
just tell a little bit about your background and how you entered into this? Yeah,
Okay,
tell a little bit about yourself.
sure. So I studied agriculture. So and after I dropped in the third year. So in order to found a startup, and again the startup was mainly related to growing vegetables in a indigenous manner, taking the indigenous knowledge more than the textbooks that I read. It was all written by a Western guy, and which made no sense to us. And moving forward, my interest shifted to seed conservation and also plant breeding. And from 2 years, I've been working on a product related to indigenous variety based in Maharashtra. So this Haryali seeds, I came in touch with Mr. Prabhakar, who is again a seed saver. He's a very prominent figure in conservation of seeds in India. Then, along with him, we started working on microgreens and also getting the seeds that are saved by farmers to the common man via microgreens. And also, in the side, I run a web designing agency and also a digital marketing agency. So, in all together, mixing technology with agriculture. Yeah, I guess that's it. So, hello everyone. Yeah, everybody's on mute, I guess.
Yeah, it's better we all are on mute because
Okay, okay, sure, sure.
children's time.
Yeah,
There is a
we
lot of,
can. Yeah.
yeah. So, okay, what is this microgreens all about? Is it like
Okay, so
a new trend, or it was there
So
from the beginning?
I'll start the session. I'll share the screen.
Yes, 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 yes.
Yeah, sure, sure. So I guess every one of us would have seen this dish somewhere in the photographs or in a movie, like in a five-star hotel, which has very small portions and also this crazy toppings, right? So if I have to say what are microgreens, the first introduction will be this. This is like the Okay, in order to explain what are microgreens, we have to dive into the physiology of the plant growth, like how the plant growth happens from the germination. So as you see, this is the sprout stage, right? When the testa, the radical arises from the cotyledon. This is the first stage. So this is where we consume seeds as sprouts. And moving on, the plant slowly consumes the food that is there in the cotyledon, and it grows to be a small plant. So now we have to observe when the first we call it as these we call it as seed leaf. So these are the false leaf, like the first set of leaf that comes soon after the germination. And after that, whatever leaves come, that we call it as true leaf. So microgreens are mini veggies, vegetable plants harvested when the first leaves arises, right? So now I know there's a lot of confusion between what are microgreens and the saplings. So there's always confusion between the small plants and the saplings. So there's a lot of difference between saplings and microgreens. See, if you see sprouts, we harvest it in like 1 to 3 days, and microgreens in 4 to 10 days. But saplings, it is 13 to 30 days. Saplings is what we use it for agriculture, right? So it is like 30 days old from the seeding, but microgreens it is just 4 to 10 days old. So as like if let's start with the history of microgreens. Okay, let's actually see the difference between sprouts and microgreens. Why microgreens are a better choice than sprouts. So the only advantage the sprout has is that it comes to harvest. I mean, we can consume it within 3 to 4 days. But microgreens, we can consume it after 6 to 13 days. But the main advantage is the varieties. The number of varieties that you can get in microgreens, it is so much than than the sprouts. And also the concentration of nutrients, fibers, proteins, etc. in microgreens, it's way more higher than the sprouts. See, because microgreens again, it's a concentrate, it's a small version of the plants, and it has 40 times more nutrients than its mature part. So I'll come to that, like why it is more nutrition and what nutrition it has and what makes it unique. Okay. So again, as I said, it has 40 times more nutrition than the mature part of it. So it's almost equal to, like, if you're consuming 100 grams of radish microgreens, it is equal to consumption of 1 kg of microgreens, 1 kg of the matured vegetable. Sometimes it is actually more. So I'm just giving an appropriation. So like, say for example, in red cabbage we have vitamin E, which is 40%, 40 times more than its matured part. And even in basil, vitamin K is 8 times more than its mature part, mature plant. So let's dive into the history of microgreens. It is like, most of us, the common man, doesn't know a lot about microgreens because we feel it is something very new. So a quick Google search, if you go to Google and say, like, search who started microgreens, the first information and the only information that you get on Google is that somewhere during the 1980s in San Francisco, few of the celebrated chefs started this, getting this rainbow mix or a type of garnish on that dishes to make it look unique and all. So this is how they say microgreens started. So this is what the real world knows. But when I started with microgreens, I wanted to know more about it. I mean, where did microgreens come from? Like, what's the history of it? So I digged in deep. So probably 2 years back, I discovered that there is this festival in Jharkhand. Okay, so it is celebrated by tribes, and in that festival, so this is the festival actually. So in that festival, they offer nature something called Java. So this Java, you can see it here in the photo, the yellow color thing in the pot. Can you see it? Yeah. So okay, this is the microgreen actually, and this festival has been celebrated from thousands of years from this tribe. So when you see deeper into this, what, like, the offerings that they are offering to the deities, it is nothing but microgreens. So if you talk about the history of microgreens, then probably we have been consuming, growing microgreens way far more before the Western people started. I mean, Western chefs started. So microgreens has always been in our diet, but generally we have not named it as microgreens. That is the reason we don't know, right? Like in Karnataka, we have a curry. I don't know whether they do it in Andhra Pradesh or other parts. We have a curry that we make out of this chickpeas sprouts, but not sprouts. It is like another version of sprouts. Like when the leaves arises, we make a curry out of it. And I was actually eating that, and then I realized, okay, this is microgreens, but the common man doesn't know that this is microgreens, but because we have not named it as microgreens. That's the only reason. But microgreens has always been a part of our tradition and our culture and our diet. Probably we have to explore more. We have to see if there are any people in India or cultures in India who are consuming this. We don't know much about it because this is something new. You can see that the first microgreens came in 1980s. I know people started recognizing, okay, this is microgreens in 1980s. So you can understand this is very new to people right now. Okay, so moving forward, let's look at the nutritional aspects of microgreens because this is what makes microgreens very, very unique from others like sprouts or anything else. So these are the few researchers, actually, the recent researches that are conducted on microgreens. I mean, there's so many researchers that people conduct on microgreens on a day-to-day basis. Because one of the main reason is that people are recommending microgreens to be as a space food, right? Now, microgreens is very easy to grow. It has a very low harvest time. So people are doing research on, can we consume microgreens as space food, like food in space. That is one aspect people are looking at. And also there are so many researchers to get to know microgreens better. We already know more about microgreens in terms of their nutrition level, but now the more research is based on, can we utilize microgreens to eradicate any disease or use to cure any disease. That is the main aspect of researchers that is going around microgreens these days, latest 2016 onwards. So what does microgreens contain? So pretty basically, if I have to say, it contains everything. It contains everything that all vegetables, pulses, or anything. It contains all the nutrients, minerals, like antioxidants. It has pretty much everything. So if I have to say, like, each and every benefit of every microgreens, I guess it will take one day whole. So I have just listed a few of them, which are very famous. So red cabbage, it has 6 times more vitamin C than its matured version, and it has 40 times more vitamin E than the matured version. And radish daikon, it has 25 to 30 times more vitamin E compared to the matured radish plant, and it contains calcium, iron, magnesium, and so many minerals. And red amaranthus is something like it has vitamin K1, which is very good for your face, and maybe that's the reason it is red in color. And also it has the beta carotenoids, which is again present in the red amaranthus, the mature version, but it has 3 times more. So the first important aspect that we have to look at microgreens is the anti-cancerous properties. See, if you go to Google and if you just Google sulforaphane, or if you go to YouTube and look at sulforaphane, you will see so much content on it, on how people are, researchers are conducted on the vegetables or anything which has sulforaphane to cure cancer. And also that this concept of god chemical or mortality chemical, this is one such chemical, sulforaphane. So people, like, there has been an extensive research to prove that sulforaphane is the only chemical that can inhibit cancer cells, inhibit the growth of cancer cells. And sulforaphane is found in microgreens of brassicaceae family in abundant. It's like the ratio is like 100 is to 1. Mustard microgreens or cabbage microgreens has 100 times more sulforaphane than its matured part. Now we have to understand like how the sulforaphane actually inhibits cancer. See, there's always this thing in internet on everywhere. Like people say, okay, this thing has this thing has this has anti-cancerous properties. But we need to understand how this sulforaphane can fight cancer, right? So see, we all know that cancer is not exterior one. It happens inside. Like our own genetic material gets altered. And how does that get altered? It happens because of secretion of phase 1, phase 2 biotransmission enzymes. So this enzyme affects common cells to become carcinogenic. This particular sulforaphane stops that. So consumption of cabbage microgreens or broccoli microgreens, the studies have proved that it can inhibit the cancerous, the chances of you getting cancer. It can inhibit that. That is one aspect. And second part, like, let's go to the heart diseases, how microgreens can help you fight heart diseases. And we all know that the main cause of heart disease or heart attacks is cholesterol, the bad cholesterols or triglycerides. So microgreens has phenols and antioxidants that can stop the secretion, or it can inhibit this accumulation of bad cholesterol. And second one is it boosts immunity, and that is, I guess, it is much more needed at this point of time. And again, how does it do? The microgreens, most of the microgreens have vitamin C and zinc. And if you see, vitamin C and zinc is very much related to immunity. Like any vegetable or anything which has a zinc, it is automatically considered as it is good for your immunity. The reason is that zinc helps for better cellular function. And also there's something called, there are something called cells intracellular murder. Like your own cell starts eating your cell, I mean starts murdering your other cells. So it stops that. Zinc is responsible to make sure all the cellular level of function is taken care properly. And second one is antibiotic, third one is antibiotic, like anti-diabetic. Why anti-diabetic? Like in India, I guess every household has diabetic patients. And microgreens helps to control diabetics by making sure this cells absorb sugar at uh, an extensive level. Like the researchers have proven that methi microgreens can make sure that your cells absorb more sugar, 25 to 45% more sugar than any other vegetables. So now the point is, like, we have discussed about like the nutritious, like what nutrition is present in microgreens and all that such. But we have to question again, what makes microgreens very nutritious? Like, what is the reason these microgreens are very nutritious? So in order to understand that, we have to look at the physiology again, like how microgreen is how a microgreen is grown. Like, see, microgreen starts from the seed stage. So we know that in the seed stage, microgreens like any seedling, it consumes the food in the cotyledon and it grows. Right, that is the fundamental of how a plant evolves. It consumes this food that is in the seed and it evolves. So at a point where the true leaves arise, the plant is totally depend, like it is independent. It is not dependent on the food that is present in the cotyledon, right? And also this is the stage where it starts and it is exposed to the soil, right? All these 4 to 5 stages, it is still under the soil. So there is no pressure of pest or no pressure of diseases on the plant. So as soon as it emerges from the soil, and it has this stress to start photosynthesis, to fight against disease, to fight against pest. So this is a natural evolution process which is actually implanted in all of the samplings, in all the pretty much all the plant species. So it's like all the plant species have this mechanism to counter pests and diseases. So now you can ask me like, why is that microgreens can be grown only with few varieties, like only like say radish or cabbage or bok choy, only few varieties, like hundred of varieties. We can't grow microgreens from potatoes or tomatoes because they are their seedlings. They have poison in them. So that is again to counter disease and immunity, like disease and pests. So that is the reason we can't consume all microgreens. There are only a set of few species that we can consume as microgreens. And again, the question comes in like, but why grow microgreens? Like, why? What's the reason? So for the first reason is easy to grow. It's like you can grow it in indoors. You don't need any expertise. And early harvest time. You don't have to wait for longer time. Give the charger. You don't have to wait for a longer time to harvest, and you can grow it year round. It doesn't depend on the season or anything. One second. And the best part is the flavors. You have to experience the flavor of radish or cabbage microgreens. It tastes like vegetable only. And obviously, we discussed health benefits. The final reason is no manures, no pesticides, and it's maintenance free. Unlike, if we start gardening, we need to have a lot of expertise and we need to maintain it. We need to make sure it doesn't get affected by disease or pest. So microgreens doesn't have any such complication because, as I mentioned before, microgains have built-in immunity to counter pests and diseases. Now let's come into the final part, how to grow microgains. The first and important step is again selection of seeds. So this is actually the most important part and also the deciding part of growing microgains. So when we go to selection of microgains, we can't select any GMO or hybrids or already packed for agriculture or chemically treated. So what is pretty much it's clear that if it is GMO or hybrids, we can't use it. What is already packed for agriculture means is that there are a few varieties which are organic or heirloom, but they are packed for agriculture, which are again coated with some microbes, beneficial microbes. So we can't use that. We can only use heirloom seeds, organic seeds, and seeds that are not packed for agriculture. And again, we can use the seeds that are readily available in our kitchens, like methi or peas, chickpea, and mustard. These you can use it to grow microgreens. Now the second point is that selection of medium. So what is a medium? It is medium. It's a medium like where you grow microgreens on. It can be soil. It can be coco peat. You can grow it on cloth also. You can grow on cocoa coir sheets. You can grow on jute sheet also. So you can pretty much grow in all of these medium. But now it depends on which variety you're growing. Say for example, let's say this is how it looks when you grow in cloth, right? So if you're growing varieties that are which whose seeds are very thick and big, you can't use cloth. For example, sunflower, spinach, Swiss chard, you can't use cloth there. You have to use cocoa coir sheet or jute sheet. The main reason is once you grow microgreens during the harvesting period, if you have grown it in the soil, it's very difficult to harvest. And the second one is there are chances that when you're harvesting, the soil may come with the harvest and it may pollute your harvest. That is one reason. When you grow in cocoa coir sheet and jute sheet, it ensures that no soil or anything comes to your harvest. And the second point is that when you grow in cocoa sheet, there is drainage, right? So this sheet is actually placed on a tray, and it is watered above. So there is no chances of any fungal diseases or any rotting of seeds. But whereas in soil, the seeds are under the soil, I mean below the soil. So there are chances of seeds rotting if you overwater or over irrigate. Now again in India we use cocoa coir sheet a lot because jute is not extensively produced and it is very expensive in India. So let's see the steps involved in growing microgreens. So the first step is that you have to wet the coir sheet, cocoa coir sheet, to make sure that it is well irrigated. I mean, it is soaked wet. And second part is you just have to spread the seeds. It is very simple, the process. You have to spread the seeds and you have to make sure that no seeds are touching each other. Like if the seeds are touching each other, there are chances that it may catch fungal diseases because too much, crowded, there is no proper ventilation. So you have to ensure that no seeds are touching each other and it is spread equally well. And the third, and also this is important part, you have to cover the container that you are growing microgreens with the cloth or paper to make sure that it doesn't see any sunlight. This increases the rate of germination. Again, the darkness induces germination. Fourth, again, once you have covered your containers with cloth or any newspaper, you have to check every day and water it every day. Just spray it with any uh, mistifier or anything. So fourth step is that you have to remove the cloth after you see germination. So usually the germination differs from varieties to varieties. Like few varieties have very less time of germination. Other varieties have high time of germination. For example, radish, it germinates within 1 or 2 days, whereas spinach or Swiss chard it takes 3 to 4 days. So we have provided that list in the website. You can take a look at that list. So based on that, you have to remove this cloth or any newspaper that you have covered, and you can start watering every day until it reaches a certain height. You will get to know like the first true leaves would have arisen, and you can harvest at this point. So also the harvest time varies from variety to variety. For radish it is just 7 days. For spinach it is again 10 days. For carrot it is like 10 to 12 days. Now, how to consume microgreens? So we have this question: should we cook it? Should we eat it raw? Can we put it in our sandwiches? Can you put it in our smoothies? Like you can consume microgreens however you want. You can just eat it raw, just from after harvest, or you can put it in your dosas, salads, idlis, smoothies, like however you want. You can consume. There is no restrictions that you have to cook it then consume it. But our recommendation everywhere is that it has to be consumed raw soon after harvest. We suggest not to preserve it in refrigerators or anything. Try to consume it as soon as you harvest it. So again, we were talking about why Haryali seeds, what we do uniquely from other brands or other organization. The main one is that we have pure desi heirloom seeds that we produce it ourselves and also source it from farmers who save seeds. And our germination rate is really high compared like 85 to 95%. And all the varieties, whichever seeds that are available on Haryali, we test it before putting it on our website. We test it locally, whether it is suitable for the local conditions or not. And then release it in our website. And again, it is chemical free, it's non-hybrid and non-GMO. You can visit us and you can know more about us at our Realisons. So I guess we are open for questions, like any questions or doubts.
Like uh, you know like microgreens, this was a micro session.
Yeah. So I thought like this was an introduction section where
It
session
looks
where
like.
I didn't want to go deep into the health benefits and what it does, everything and all.
Hmm.
So let like
So
if you have any doubts, we can discuss more on that
yeah,
particular point.
I have few questions.
Yeah, sure.
You said it has more nutrient content than the fully grown
Yes, yes, yes,
crop. Yeah.
yes, yes,
So
yes.
is it because that crop uses its energy as it grows? It uses its energy to protect itself from the pests and all that involves, and it loses certain amount of itself. Is
Hmm.
that a case where why is that difference? Can you elaborate more why it is more in microgreen than a fully grown plant?
Okay, in humans also we have this, right? Like when babies are grown, they have this, good immunity power. Okay, let's leave that. So when we come to evolution, so there's always this something called survival of the fittest, right? So microgreens, like plants, when they are small, they have a lot of stress. I mean, a pest or diseases or whatever. So they need to be at a point where they are nutritionally capable and they have enough nutrition to produce food for themselves in the initial stage, because initially they are dependent on the seed, right? They come out of it, so all the nutrition from the seeds is implanted to the microgreens. So there what happens, like in the initial stages, they start photosynthesizing, and it's like as the plant gets older, the immunity reduces, and most of the energy or the nutrition is put towards the main goal, that is seed and fruit production. That is like for any species, that is like they have to evolve, right? That is the main goal. They have to grow, produce the seeds and fruits or seeds for the next offerings. But at the early stage, it doesn't have any of that stress or responsibility. It just have to grow. It just have to be at its fittest, so that it survives. So that is the reason at this point it has high nutrition level compared to the matured part. And when the plant grows and it is very big, there are so many things happening in the plant. See, one is that it has to fight against a disease, it has to produce the reproductive parts, and it has to store the nutrients in the fruits so that some animals or something eats that and disperses the seed. There's so many things happening when it grows old. But at the younger stages, there's only one goal: survive, fight against diseases and pests, and prosper.
Thank you, thank you. Uh, I think others can unmute themselves and ask the questions.
So how do you harvest it? Like, do you consume it with the root or you just consume the top part of it?
You just consume the top part of it. Like you can take a scissor and you can just harvest it, cut it off. Just like trimming.
And does it grow again?
No, it doesn't grow again. It doesn't grow again.
Okay. And the cocoa peat base that you said that you use it once, can you reuse
Yeah,
it?
yeah. You use it like 2 to 3 times. So before reusing, you have to make sure that you clean it well, you dry it well, and then you can reuse it for 2 to 3 times.
Can you even grow it on cotton? Like cotton
Cotton, it
bales?
is not recommended because there are high chances of catching, fungal diseases like mold or something. You can grow on cloth also. See, again, it depends on the varieties you're growing. If you're growing varieties where the seeds are very small, for example, chia, amarantha, you can grow on cloths. If you're growing some varieties where the seeds are a little bit bigger, say, for example, spinach or Swiss chard, or say sunflower, you have to use soil or coco peat.
So when you say cloth, a piece of cotton cloth.
Yeah, cotton cloth, cotton cloth. But okay,
Okay.
initially I thought you were telling about just cotton. No, cotton cloth you can use to grow.
And which do you suggest is the best one to try for the first timers?
First timers, I recommend coco peat because the main reason is that you don't have to worry about drainage or rotting of seeds. So the reason that we introduced with cocoa coir sheets is because initially when we were testing out, we realized that many beginners don't know how much to water, how much to irrigate. So they ended up in getting their seeds rotted. I mean, if you water more, the seeds rot, right? So if you
Mm-hmm.
use the coco peat, below the sheet, there will be water, so above that will be the seeds. So there is no direct contact between water and the seeds. There's only the intermediate contact. It's like the cocoa peat will be wet and the seeds will be in contact with the cocoa peat. So there is enough drainage and space for the seeds to breathe. So let me show you the pictures here. See, if you see it here, like seeds are only in touch with the cocoa peat. They're not directly touched with the water. So there is no chances of you know catching any molds and everything. So we suggest use it comes with a kit. Like if you go to our website, it actually comes like we provide mandatory for all the seed varieties.
And and which seeds should we try first, like mustard or which
Okay,
one is
so
easiest?
if you have methi, mustard, mustard is really easy to grow, and also methi is also easy to grow. You have peas, chickpeas, all those. Mustard is the easiest one to grow.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Yeah. And what about this covering with the cloth to keep it under in darkness? Does it need we need to cover it with cloth because it needs any air circulation
No, no,
or
no. You can cover it with anything. Like until like the main goal here is that there should be no sunlight. Like there should be no contact with the sunlight to the seeds. That is the one reason. And second one is if you cover with cloth, there is this increased CO2 below that, right? And also there's a little bit warmth that actually induces germination very faster. So
okay?
that's the main goal, like to make germination faster. That's it. So you can actually grow microgreens without covering the cloth also. That is totally possible. But we recommend it because the germination is, it's faster compared to just growing it in the open.
Okay. And you check once in a while, or
Yeah,
if
check
you
once in a while. Once in a day is enough. Like every morning you can check it and you just spray it with water. And I guess that is enough.
okay. Okay. So why not GMO seeds? They don't grow, or is it like it's why
Okay,
to go
the
for
one
only basic?
Okay, the first reason is that, like, say, we can't use GMO or hybrids that are commercially available in the agriculture shops or seed shops. That the main reason is that they are actually mixed with poison. So if you buy any commercial hybrid or GMO seeds from the market, they are mixed with fungicides to avoid seed-borne diseases, right? So it's like literally poison. So again, that is really poisonous. People actually may die because of that. That is one reason. The second reason is that, again, GMO stands for genetically modified organism. So there is a modification of genetics, there is breeding, there is exchange of genes and everything. So again, the nutrient profile may not be as good as the common heirloom or desi seeds. It may not have the same flavors or same nutrient profile as the common heirloom seeds, the GMO or hybrid seeds.
Okay. So main concern, ideally, I see it as poisoning. Okay.
Hmm.
So just in case we don't have any other option, is there a way to clean that and then use it, or any such things?
No, 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 no. See,
No.
again, like we recommend only it's like microgreens are only grown using this heirloom seeds. And again, GMO and hybrid seeds are very costly. If you want to buy 10 grams of radish GMO and hybrid seeds, I guess it's going to cost you 20x or 30x more than the desi seeds. See, poison, it's like once they incorporate with the seeds, I don't think so. You can remove it even after washing it, right?
Okay.
So why do you want to take the risk again? See, because the
Okay.
fungicides they use, they are like level one chemicals. That means that it can actually kill a person. So if you see your commercial seed packet behind, they would have written poisonous, don't consume, not for consumption. It's clearly
Okay.
written on the packets.
Okay. So is it like because I've been seeing some videos where they have these chia seeds bought to for their consumption. You know, like in home they buy it to consume for different purpose. So with those seeds they're making microgreens.
You can,
So
you can.
do you think those are also the ones that is consumable? They also have this
Yeah, yeah,
poisoning.
yeah. They have this. They have this. Yeah, no issues. Like because we also like few of the common available seeds we don't sell on website. Like say methi seeds or pea seeds because that are readily available in your kitchens. You can grow that. It has the same nutrition profile. See, the only varieties that are not extensively available for you on an everyday basis in any of the stores like radish or cabbage,
Mm.
only those we recommend you to buy from outside anywhere. Even if a
Okay,
farmer is saving seeds, they're organic, you can buy it from them.
okay, okay. I understand. Like cabbage and all, you don't have it in your
Yeah, yeah,
kitchen to
exactly, exactly.
consume, like chia or this thing, methi. Yeah.
Yes, yes.
So, okay, okay. Thank you for that clarity.
And one more thing, when you said this is very nutritionally high, what is the quantity that we have to consume, or how do we
See,
decide?
like recommended daily consumption is that you can consume up to 200 to 300 grams. So I guess there is no what is that, this term nutrition toxicity, or there is no toxic effect of microgreens as far as like that we have not seen any till now. You can consume up to 200 grams, 200 to 300 grams. Yeah,
So on the daily basis.
yeah, on the daily basis.
Okay. And do you suggest like we can even consume microgreens instead of all these like
Sprouts.
tablets? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, definitely, definitely. See, there has been extensive research to counter malnutrition using microgreens. See, the only reason we can't do that, counter malnutrition using microgreens is because of the cost involved. See, now there is no much encouragement for farmers or anybody to conserve seeds and produce desi seeds. That is the only constraint, that we don't have enough resources to produce these seeds. Other than that, if there is a choice for the government or anybody to counter malnutrition, so we can actually suggest microgreens. Actually, the researchers there are actually products in West where they grow microgreens, dry it, they powder it, and they use it as supplements. So microgreens are super greens. You can definitely consume microgreens rather than tablets.
So, you can read the chat. There were some questions posted.
That's
Suhas?
okay. Spillage. Okay. Do we need to use coir for single use? Coir for single use. No. You can use cocoa coir sheet 2 or 3 more times. It's not an issue. Can you explain how carrots, radish, cabbage, broccoli are to be cut and taken care to grow microgreens? Okay, so I guess this is the doubt that is coming up again. See, microgreens, it is only one time harvest. You can't harvest it again and again. The reason being because they are very small and these are not the big plants. It's something like sprouts. So it's only one time harvest, and there is no much maintenance here. You don't have to take care much rather than other than watering it every day. Once in a day is more than enough, and it doesn't need much sunlight. Probably 2 hours of sunlight, which is near. If you keep it near the window, that is more than enough. Again, uh, caring part. Make sure that it is in a well ventilated area so that we don't have any problem of fungus. Yes, that's it. Yeah, I just have 3 questions here.
And can we consume any kind of microgreens on a daily basis? Like you said, mustard is easy. So can I harvest mustard every day and consume it every
Yeah,
day?
yeah, yeah, yeah. You can. So, but we recommend, like,
So
you can consume many varieties also. Like if you include two to three types, you get all the nutrients. It's not like mustard has all the nutrient and vitamin profile. Maybe it has few, but if you consume like 2 to 3, 4 varieties, I guess it will take care of the daily nutrient requirement.
Any more questions from anyone? So, Suhas, many of the participants are from Bangalore, actually.
Okay,
Okay.
okay, okay.
So, is there any scope for them to visit your farms, or do you have any okay, I understand the current scenario is different
Yeah,
due to
in future,
COVID.
yeah, we do conduct workshops. We have like we'll be soon releasing the dates also. They can come attend our workshops. We don't not only teach about microgreens, we teach about natural farming. So particularly, we teach about Vedic farming. So
Okay.
one second. Yeah,
Mhm.
we teach more about Vedic farming, how we can utilize the Vedic knowledge to grow vegetables, and also how we can conserve seeds from our gardens. Say for example, like nowadays there is a very big boom in e-commerce in gardening, right? So if you go to any proper commerce site of garden, you can see so many varieties of hybrids garden seeds are sold. And again, if you grow those vegetables, you have to go back to the websites again to buy the seeds. But whereas in Haryali seeds, we have seeds that are heirloom. That means that once you buy, you don't have to come back to us. Say, for example, you buy tomato seeds from us, you can save the seeds. That means you can harvest the seeds, keep it for yourself, and grow it again. And again, you can practice something called selection. You can grow 10 or 5 seeds, and you can select which is dominant, like which yielded more fruits and all. There's a lot of science behind that. We explain all that in our workshop. And also we explain why it is important for a common citizen like you and me to conserve seeds. And the biggest impact that these hybrid seeds and GMO seeds that they are having on our agriculture. See, one such example that I would like to give is that, say, uh, all these seed companies, say for let's, okay, since this is a very private session, I can take the name. Maybe you've heard
No,
about
no, 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 no,
Monsanto.
don't, no, no, don't take any names. It's fine.
Okay, fine, fine. Maybe you know about this, the big companies in
Whatever.
seeds and
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
So what these people do, they are the one who produces the hybrid seeds. They are the one who produces the fertilizers. They are the one who produces the pesticides, and also they are the one who are the biggest insurance company who gives insurance after you fall sick eating these vegetables. So this is a whole cartel running. It's just a It's like everything is linked, right? So we you need to understand this economics. How do you break out of from this? And even the government is involved. So many big people are involved here. It's like it has been happening since 1990s, from the advent of urea to India. So if you see the history of natural farming, India, like if you go ask your great grandfather or even your grandfather, they had no concept of putting ureas or putting pesticides to their crop, right? The urea first came to India somewhere around in 1990s. So the question is, what did people do before that? Like, how did people grow uh, vegetables before the advent of urea or ammonia? And again, we also talk more about the harmful effect of ureas and these GMO seeds on our agriculture. It's a complete packed workshop. And also we teach you how to make Jivamruta, the basics of natural farming, how to make it. And also we also prepare something called Bijamruta, where you can save your seeds, putting in a solution that is made naturally. So all that aspect, you can actually attend our workshop. If you check our website, like uh, we post that dates, so we'll get to know when will be the next workshop. We have not decided the date yet, but when we do, we'll put it on our website.
Okay, so Harsh, it was personally very nice that I came across you. Our roads crossed.
Nice, nice.
Yeah, yeah. And lucky Bangaloreans, I think you guys can have a first-hand experience of their farm and get to know each other.
And you can
In
also go to YouTube and search for Dr. Prabhakar Rao's talk. Like you can see a lot of his what he actually does. The work we do at Haryali. You can check out
Mm,
our
mm,
videos on
mm,
YouTube.
mm, mm, mm,
Haryali
mm.
Farms, or you can the videos are available on our website also. You can check out what we do.
Yeah, yeah. And anytime if I'm in Bangalore, I would love to visit your place.
Sure, sure, sure.
Yeah. Any more questions from anyone? Maybe if not microgreens, about other things he spoke about, desi seeds or any such things. Any questions popped out? You can ask him.
Where is this place in Bangalore, Suhas?
It's near this Kanakpura Road. It's near to this Art of Living ashram.
Oh.
So you allow farm visits and all?
Yes, 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 yes. Not now, but when we are open, we do.
Okay, thank you.
So, no more questions? Okay. Thank you, Suhas. Thank you for explaining in detail. It was very interesting. True to the spirit,
Yeah.
microgreens and micro session, but
Yeah, no,
it's
I
fully
thought
loaded.
like maybe the 1 hour session, I thought maybe half an hour will be the session and half an hour again will be Q&A. So I made sure it is very short. And again, this is weekend. I didn't think like people would sit and listen so much. So that was my assumption. So sorry if I had like shortened the talk.
But I think it is sufficiently loaded. Uh,
Yeah, the main
yeah,
points.
yeah, and definitely people who are practicing, I hope they can reach you
Yeah, so I'll
if
do
they
one
have
thing.
any.
I'll share this PDF and also the link with you so you can put it in the group. So it will be easier.
Okay. So yeah, people can get in touch and if they have any questions or anything while they're practicing,
Yeah.
because ultimately we need to practice. It's not just
Yes,
a
yes, yes.
yeah. Uh, Thank you, Suhas. Thank you, everyone, for joining us, and have a great weekend. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.